Welcome back to Galaxy Recaps. Today we'll be diving into an action thriller film titled Parker. Enjoy the recap. The film begins with a man disguised as a priest. A seasoned thief named Parker infiltrates the bustling Ohio State Fair. His team, consisting of Melander and Ross, poses as clowns and works covertly to access the secure area beneath the security cabin, where the fair's cash is stored and counted. Parker notices a distraction keeping Hardwick, another team member, from spotting the clown's signal. Swiftly, Parker alerts Hardwick, prompting him into action. The plan is timed to perfection. The clowns remind themselves they have just 5 minutes before Hardwick sets the hay bales behind the livestock pavilion ablaze. But complications arise when Hardwick encounters a setback on his way. Quick thinking, he adjusts the plan on the fly while Parker heads toward the security cabin. Inside, the clowns storm the cabin, brandishing weapons and holding the staff hostage. Parker erases the security footage, ensuring there's no evidence of their heist. Phones are confiscated to maintain control. Meanwhile, Hardwick's fire-starting efforts go astray, and instead of the livestock pavilion, flames erupt near the main stage of the fair. Back in the cabin, Melander and Ross break into locked cabinets containing the cash, just as Parker recalls how this heist began. His girlfriend Claire's father, Hurley, had tipped him off about the cash stockpile and assembled the team, an unfamiliar crew Parker reluctantly agreed to work with. True to Hurley's word, the cabinets are stuffed with money, but disaster strikes when the fire reaches nearby gas tanks, triggering a massive explosion. The chaos was never part of the plan, and Parker is stunned by the unexpected turn of events. Amidst the panic, the team successfully escapes with the cash. Carlson, another accomplice, drives Melander and Ross to safety while Parker sheds his priest disguise and slips away. Later, Parker confronts Hardwick about the dangerous deviation in the plan. Furious that the fire could have hurt innocent people, with the team regrouped, they switch vehicles and make their getaway. Elated by their haul, Melander proposes using the $1 million score as a springboard for a jewelry heist worth $2 million each, but Parker, unwilling to work with the team any further, flatly refuses. Tensions boil over and suddenly gunfire erupts. Carlson struggles to maintain control of the car as Melander swerves back onto the road. Amid the chaos, an injured Parker leaps from the vehicle. Seeing him as a liability, Hardwick decides to finish the job and leaves Parker for dead as the rest of the team flees. Fate, however, has other plans. Parker is discovered by a farming family and rushed to a nearby hospital. When he regains consciousness, he learns from the news that the explosion caused multiple casualties, including one fatality. Driven by anger and determination, Parker overpowers a guard, escapes the hospital, and vanishes. Escaping the hospital in a stolen ambulance, Parker breaks into a motel room to regroup. Wasting no time, he hotwires a car from the motel parking lot and drives off, inadvertently interrupting a heist in progress. Amid the chaos, Parker seizes the cash and switches vehicles, stealing another car to cover his tracks. He soon meets Nord, one of Hurley's associates, offering cash in exchange for fake documents. Nord assures Parker the documents will take 5 days to prepare. Meanwhile, Parker contacts Hurley, pressing him for information on Melander's whereabouts. Hurley warns against seeking revenge, revealing that Melander has powerful connections, including his uncle, mob boss Danziger. Reluctantly, Hurley provides a lead. Hardwick's brother Bobby, who lives in New Orleans. Tracking down Bobby, Parker confronts him, resulting in a brutal fight. Bobby warns him of the repercussions of going after Melander and reveals that Hardwick and Melander took his share of the stolen money. Relentless, Parker extracts the team's location, Palm Beach, Florida. Concerned for Claire's safety, Parker leaves her a message, urging her to stay vigilant and hide. He also informs Hurley of his plan to head to Palm Beach. The next morning, Melander's team is busy planning their next job when Hardwick receives troubling news. Parker had visited Bobby. The revelation shocks the crew. They now know Parker is alive and seeking revenge. Fearing for his life, Hardwick turns to Danziger for help. In response, one of Danziger's hitmen is sent to Claire's house. Unaware of the lurking danger, Claire packs her belongings to leave. But when she senses the intruder, she acts quickly, escaping through a window. She disables the hitman's car by puncturing its tire, then flees in her own vehicle. Reaching Parker by phone, Claire follows his instructions to head to a safe house at a nearby fishing camp. Parker promises to join her soon. Meanwhile, Parker discovers Danziger's men have also targeted Nord. Though Nord handles the immediate threat, he insists on staying neutral and avoiding further trouble. Once Parker collects his fake documents, posing as Texas oil baron Daniel Parmit, he forces Nord to eliminate Danziger's men, ensuring they won't pose a future risk. Armed with his new identity, Parker prepares for the next phase of his plan. When Hurley meets Parker later, he pleads with him to abandon his revenge mission, emphasizing Claire's safety. Hurley even offers Parker Parker his share of the Ohio heist, claiming it came from Danziger. True to his principles, Parker rejects the bribe, instead convincing Hurley to purchase a house in Palm Beach to further his plan. At a real estate office in Palm Beach, Leslie Rogers, a resourceful but struggling employee, spots an opportunity. Desperate to earn a commission, she secretly copies contact details for a wealthy client, Mr. Parmet, who's in the market for a third vacation home. Unaware of Parker's true identity, she eagerly shows him several properties. Intrigued, Parker agrees to meet her again the next day to see more options. Later, Parker reunites with Claire at Lake Okeechobee, ensuring she's safe before resuming his mission. The following morning, as Leslie shows Parker more mansions, he learns about her recent divorce and financial struggles. She confides that her ex-husband left her with debt after declaring bankruptcy. One particular property catches Parker's attention: a recently sold house bought by a Texan named Mr. Rodrigo for renovations. Parker immediately connects the dots. This could be the house Melander mentioned using their Ohio loot to purchase. While examining details of the house on his own, Parker discovers something suspicious. Meanwhile, Leslie, curious about her mysterious client, checks his documents and finds it odd that he has no active mortgages or credit card debts. Before she can dig deeper, she receives an email from her bank, reminding her of her overdue car payments and impending repossession. That evening, Parker revisits the house sold to Mr. Rodrigo, confirming his hunch when he sees Melander and the crew have set up their base there. Waiting for them to leave, Parker sneaks inside, hides a few guns, retrieves more from their storage, and disables their firing pins. Hearing the team returning, he hurriedly puts everything back in place and slips out unnoticed, only to find Leslie waiting outside. Having spotted him leaving stealthily, she invites him out and Parker reluctantly agrees. On the way to her office, Leslie reveals that she's uncovered his fake identity and has also discovered that Mr. Rodrigo is a false alias. At her office, she opens up about her financial struggles, living with her mother and being perpetually strapped for cash. Recognizing that Parker isn't in Palm Beach for real estate but likely for something criminal, she offers her help, believing her local knowledge could be useful. Parker promises to consider her offer before leaving. 2 days later, Parker contacts Leslie and meets her at an empty condo. He shares that Melander's crew is planning a massive jewel heist, and Leslie immediately connects it to an upcoming auction. She informs him that $75 million worth of jewelry will be auctioned the following night at a large private property. While Parker and Leslie can't scope out the property directly, Melander and his team pose as event organizers to install speakers secretly rigged with fireworks. Leslie directs Parker to a less guarded back entrance, where he spots Melander and Ross. Dropping Leslie off afterward, Parker returns to his hotel. Back in his room, Parker is ambushed by one of Danziger's hitmen. An intense fight breaks out, both men evenly matched in skill. Parker lands several punches but finds himself strangled with a shower curtain. He stomps on the hitman's foot to break free and delivers a powerful blow to knock him out. Just as Parker tries to retrieve the hitman's knife, he's attacked again. Struggling, Parker manages to fling the hitman over the balcony but ends up dangling over the edge himself. With sheer determination, he kicks the hitman off to his death before hauling himself back inside, battered and injured. The next morning, Leslie is visited by a police officer she knows, asking questions about her client, Daniel Parmet. She admits to showing him a few properties but grows uneasy when the officer mentions someone fell to their death from Parmet's hotel room. He also notes that Parmet disappeared after stealing a car from the hotel. Once the cop leaves, Leslie rushes home to find Parker hiding there, wounded. Parker instructs her to call a specific number from a payphone and then head to work. Following his instructions, Leslie calls the number and later discovers it connects to Claire, Parker's girlfriend. At work, Leslie sees a video circulating online showing the hitman's fatal fall from the balcony, further fueling her worry. She returns home to find Claire tending to Parker's injuries. Despite his condition, Parker insists on moving forward with the plan for that night's auction. Before leaving, Claire promises to wait for him at the fishing camp and warns Leslie to be cautious, as the police might be watching her. Parker urges Leslie to act as though nothing is amiss and reassures her he'll be gone by the time she returns. As evening falls, Leslie grows increasingly anxious about Parker's dangerous plan. Elsewhere, Melander, Ross, and Carlson disguise themselves as firefighters, while Hardwick sets off on a boat, ready to play his part. By the time the auction begins, the team waits in the shadows, their plan in motion. At the event, fireworks rigged inside the speakers explode, triggering an immediate evacuation. Playing their roles, the disguised crew arrives in a fire truck, convincing the police that the fumes are toxic and everyone must stay far away. With the area cleared, they get to work smashing display cases and stuffing the valuable jewelry into their bags. Just as they finish, Hardwick receives the signal to move closer. However, complications arise. Hardwick is stopped by the sheriff's Marine unit for trespassing on private property. Simultaneously, real firefighters arrive at the auction site, creating tension. Melander, thinking quickly, leads the crew into the lake to escape, while Hardwick promises the authorities that he'll leave. Back at the event, organizers discover the theft, and the island is swiftly locked down by police. Watching from a distance, Leslie waits nervously for Parker's next move. Determined to ensure the plan doesn't fail, Parker sneaks into the house where the crew is hiding. Soon after, Leslie arrives, having swum across the lake. Melander, Ross, and Carlson return to the house as well, celebrating their successful heist. Parker hides as they revel in their victory, while Leslie peeks through a window, only to be caught at gunpoint by Hardwick, who forces her inside. Melander quickly suspects Parker's involvement, and as tensions escalate, Hardwick gets violent with Leslie. Spotting one of the hidden guns Parker had planted earlier, Leslie keeps her cool. While Melander orders the others to search the house for Parker, their split-up works in his favor. Moving stealthily, Parker eliminates them one by one, starting with Ross, whom he stabs silently. Tracking Hardwick next, Parker shadows him as Carlson reports nothing suspicious on his side of the house. When Hardwick also finds no sign of Parker, Melander realizes something's wrong. Ross's absence is too obvious. He orders Hardwick to investigate, leaving Carlson with Leslie, while Melander searches for Parker himself. At this point, Leslie spots Parker hiding. Melander catches her glance and, threatening her life, demands Parker reveal himself. Seizing the moment, Leslie grabs the hidden gun and shoots Carlson. Melander attempts to fire at Parker but realizes too late that Parker sabotaged his weapon. Forced into a fight, Parker manages to stab Melander before finishing him off with a gunshot. Just as the dust settles, Hardwick returns and grabs Leslie, holding her at gunpoint. He warns Parker about the repercussions of killing him, given his connection to Danziger, confident that Hardwick's weapon is also rigged to fail. Parker calmly rescues Leslie, reminding Hardwick of the chaos caused by his Ohio betrayal. With swift precision, Parker shoots Hardwick, bringing down the last member of the crew. With the danger neutralized, Leslie helps Parker out of the house. He instructs her to hide the stolen jewelry at her office and promises to send someone to collect it soon. He also assures her that her share of the sale, amounting to millions, will come through as promised. Relieved, Leslie realizes her financial troubles might finally be over. 6 months later, in Chicago, Parker confronts and eliminates Danziger, ensuring no loose ends remain. A year after the heist, Leslie receives a long-awaited package, her share of the jewelry proceeds. True to his word, Parker also sends a generous sum to the farming family who saved his life, showing gratitude for their kindness. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and we'll see you on the next one.